we're getting my levels. Are we getting your levels?
Let's see. Levels.
Yeah.
Levels.
Yes. How many levels do you have?
All of them.
That's like more than 6, but less than 8.
Is that good?
Yeah, I think.
7 levels?
I think so. I don't know where this bit's
Great.
going.
What are levels?
Welcome,
You said
ladies
we-
and gentlemen, to the Double Dip Draft. I am your host, Cabral of the Slinging Ages Slashers. Joining me once again for our Week 4 recap is...
Scoots, coach of the Dumble Spoods Army.
Yes, welcome. Very excited to have you back. It'll be a fun, exciting time because this is Week 4. We went over some stuff Week 3, and we brought up how that was Remedy, coach of the Jirachi Gongs, last week. We have a new coach stepping in for their very first season, coming into the middle of it. They do take Remedy's differential, so they were currently, when they first came in, 0-3. We'll have to see how they do when we get to the match here in a second. But one of the options they had, because they came in the middle, is they were allowed to grab some free agents if they want to switch some Pokemon around. That way, they can make the team a little personal, a little bit theirs, and also, they don't have something that they're not comfortable with, so to speak.
And boy, did they grab a lot of Pokemon.
Yes, they did. They grabbed one of your favorites, actually, one of your favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, they grabbed Leafeon.
They did.
Who I drafted Leafeon last season.
Yeah, Leafeon's great. So something that Dom is the name of the coach, by the way, or Dalvazar. I guess we'll call him that. His name will be Dalvazar on here. Dalvazar, what he's done is swapped out quite a few Pokemon. So Remedy's team previously had Toxapex, Cramorant, Swampert, Pincurchin, Beartic, Bellossom, and Graplock. All of those have been swapped out. Toxapex has been replaced with Tapu Lele, which is a great Pokemon. Dom took the time to kind of look at what's coming up and really didn't see a lot of utility with Toxapex, and I kind of get that. It is just all bulk, no hits, and we can see kind of a pattern of no bulk, all hits on Dom's team. We'll get to that though. Swampert for Venusaur, Cramorant for Aerodactyl, Pincurchin for Slurpuff, Beartic for Leafeon, Bellossom for Luxray, and Graplock for Regice. What are your initial thoughts when you look at this team?
It's good. He used the Ninetales, which was already on the team, and kind of drafted a couple Sunmons that work well under the sun, like Leafeon and Venusaur. Kept Volcanion, which is good for Sun as well, and drafted some bulk. There is some bulk on this team still.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
But yeah, as you said, it's not much stall. It's more just like heavy hitters now.
Yeah, with Durant, Aerodactyl, and of course the Sunmon we mentioned, they get Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll allowing you to double your speed in the sun. Leafeon is insane. Hits like a truck with 110 base attack and 130 defense. It's got some decent bulk to it, 95 speed. So it's fairly fast, and in sun it outspeeds.
And it's very fast.
It outspeeds a lot of Pokemon. Even Scarf, I think in the sun it will outspeed a Scarf Pheromosa, right?
A Scarf Pheromosa? I'd have to check.
Yeah, because I know
it might be close.
Yeah, it might be close. Either way, it's just really fast. Picking up Regice, which is some nice bulk. Not the best typing for bulk, but Regice put in some good work with the Southtown Sand Slashers last season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of speed on this team now.
Yeah,
with Leafeon, the Chlorophyll ability, and Durant.
Yep.
With first impression priority and Aerodactyl just being a really fast Pokemon in general.
Yeah, Aerodactyl just also hits hard too with that base 105 attack. Ninetales, 100 base speed's decent too.
Yeah, there's some good speed control on this thing.
Yeah, and I think that's something that will probably work out in his favor in the coming matches left. So, it's something where it's interesting looking at it, because I think some teams coming up that he has left to face kind of struggle with some speed a little bit. Obviously, there's IDM with his electric terrain, but that's a whole different story. We'll have to get there when we get there. But first, for our first matchup for Dom, he had to pick up and fight Levin Sky. Levin, of course, doing pretty well in the season so far. I think he was at a 1-2 at this point, having 1 victory and 2 losses. Yes, Levin was at a 1-2 with a -1 differential, so he was sitting pretty, just under 4th place underneath Claire, who was a 2-2. 1-2, but we'll get to that. Anyways, here's the first match. What Pokemon do we have to deal with?
So we've kind of gone over Dom's team. I don't know if you've said Dom's team name yet.
Oh, the Cincinnati Cyndaquils.
Yes.
It's a good name. He actually was upset because afterwards I could have been the Sin City Cyndaquils. Which would have been great.
I mean, there's always time to change it.
Yeah, there's always time to change it. We'll see.
Maybe next season.
And
then Levin, coach of the Chicago Snubbles.
Yes.
He's brought Jirachi, which
great
is
Pokemon.
Always a great Pokemon in draft. Base 100 stats, so it can kind of run whatever you need it to.
Yep. It's got a decent move
Serene Grace is a wonderfully cheesy ability. Gyarados, just a solid Pokemon with Intimidate or Moxie. Can run Dragon Dance for setup.
Yeah, Garrett, and it just hits hard too. It's got a high attack, decent speed, and you could Scarf this thing if you wanted to, or just run Dragon Dance, like you said.
Mo, also a very good Pokemon. I always seem to struggle when I fight against it in draft leagues. I don't know if it's just the teams I draft, but it has 3 really good abilities, or at least 2. Like Bulletproof is one.
Yeah, Bulletproof is actually
going to be Soundproof. I think it gets too.
Yes, it does get Soundproof, and it gets one other one too. But Bulletproof is interesting because Bulletproof prevents Sludge Bomb from hitting it, as well as Weather Ball, which is something with a lot of some teams that they usually run. And that's something to keep in mind that Dom had to look out for, which is Bulletproof on Como-O. Bisharp is another Pokemon that comes in with a lot of attacks. Sucker Punch, it hits really hard, puts in some good legwork. Delmise is an interesting bring. I believe Levin expected Tapu Lele to come.
Yeah,
but it did.
That's probably what Delmise is there for.
Yeah, because otherwise Delmise is hit by actually every single one of these Pokemon. And dies to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except like Luxury maybe, but Luxury also gets all the Fang moves, I think, like Fire Fang and stuff like that.
Yeah. It gets Ice Fang at least.
Yep. And rounding out the bottom of Levin's team is the Lazzle, which is just a speedy poison fire type, which she'll probably put in some decent work. It's got decent move coverage, hits pretty hard for special attack. And at this point, I think we could probably get started on Dalvazar's first match. Let me find my mouse. There it is. And then we'll just go ahead and start. Levin starting off Gyarados, which is a pretty strong start at this point, and Dom starting off with Aerodactyl, which is another really strong start, because Aerodactyl hits just about everything on that team if needed.
Luxray comes in with the Intimidate, but Bisharp's ability cancels that out when it gets a stat drop and boosts its attack by 2. Unfortunately, it can't live long enough to really take advantage of it.
Yeah, Levin calced it and said that Sucker Punch would not have killed, but it probably would have been nice to get off some little chip damage on that anyways. But the Rocky Helmet makes a nice difference on Luxray, actually. Ninetales coming in, and then here's it. There's a play. That Healing Wish. Losing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, Levin wanted to see what Healing Wish did.
Yeah, and we'll find out later, don't worry. But losing Jirachi was a big hit to Levin's team. Plus, I think this setup here, doing 2 Dragon Dances on Leafeon might have been a bit much.
Little greedy.
Yeah, a little greedy because probably could have switched into Delmise. I don't think Leafeon could hit that super hard.
Yeah, Leafeon's big moves are usually close combat and Leaf Blade.
It does not get close combat.
Wait, I thought I got a fighting type move.
Low kick. Or double kick.
Low kick?
Double kick.
Okay.
Which Dom actually ran double kick on this, and I know that. And it kills Bisharp. That's why Dom ran double kick, because it kills Bisharp.
Yep.
Aerodactyl putting some good work, by the way. Having a sash, which really helps out here, because it's free to click dual wing beat once again. But the thing is, naturally, Aerodactyl's faster, but this is a scarfed Salazzle. Yeah, 9 tails coming in.
Fast.
Yep, sorry guys.
Scorching Sand takes that. I do believe.
Oh, there's Healing Wish.
Healing Wish comes in at the last Pokemon.
Yep, actually, it allows Levin to adjust that differential from being a 4-0 to a 3-0. Healing Wish coming in to save the day.
Yeah. I do think Leafeon gets a knockoff.
It does get knockoff.
A problem for Delmise.
Yeah. Also, you know what? It gets X-Scissor, actually.
Okay. I think Ghost Resist Bug? I could be wrong.
Is it? Well, you know what? We can always find out.
Ghost Grass.
Looks like it actually does. So if
it does.
This, it does. Ghost does resist Bug. So it would be a neutral hit, but it is, of course, weak to dark. It is
weak to dark.
Yeah, which Leafeon, of course, gets knockoff. I believe it's the only evolution to get knockoff. Which is a great
Umbreon doesn't get knockoff?
What does?
Umbreon doesn't get knockoff?
Umbreon might, actually. Not that Umbreon could take advantage of it.
No, because it's not a physical attacker, but... Oh, no, I guess it doesn't.
No, it doesn't get knockoff. That's...
the dark-type Umbreon evolution doesn't get...
Yeah, I'm very certain, unless Flareon gets it, but, I'm very certain that Leafeon is the only evolution to get knockoff. Flareon gets Scorching Sands? Huh, that's weird.
Not really a special attacker usually.
No, it's 130 base attack, and it gets Dig, but if it got an actual ground move, Flareon would actually be pretty decent, but it doesn't. Yeah, but Leafeon does not get close combat. It gets just double kick. I'm pretty sure is what it is. Yeah, double kick.
Oh.
But that double kick was more than enough to kill Bisharp, according to the calcs. So Dom grabbed it.
I believe it.
Yeah, Grassy Glide's also really nice for this thing, but Dom's not running Grassy Terrain. Not that he couldn't, because I'm pretty sure we can actually get Grassy Terrain set up with Venusaur, if I remember right.
Yep.
Yeah, Grassy Terrain right here. So if he really wanted to, he could do that. But either way, I think it was a good first match for Dom coming in at 0-3, and of course this adjusting his differential to a 1-3 and -3, putting Levin also at 1-3 -4 now, which bumps up Dom from 7th to 5th place in this first match. We'll have to see how he does next week, though, because that's him versus IDM. And IDM, of course, is an actual physical calculator. I'm very certain about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough second week.
Yeah, but congratulations on your first victory in the Draft League, Dalvazar, the Cincinnati Cyndaquils. But let's go ahead and move on. What's our next match we got here?
We've got Black Captain, coach of the... Can't remember.
We made the whole joke. They're from space.
From space?
Martian Mantines.
Oh.
They're from Mars. They're invaded. I made... Unless it was with
No, I remember it now.
Yeah, I made the Crash Team Racing joke and everything.
I'll remember eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there. But someone else you might remember is...
Yes, Aurora, coach of the Hunsburg Hunters.
Yeah, Aurora, of course, being a very seasoned veteran at this point, and she has a very good team as it is. Kartana, just I don't like Kartana. It scares me. Golurk is there. It's ground ghost, and it hits a few things pretty hard. It's actually, for this particular matchup, is a pretty good bring. Celebi coming into, also putting in some good work. Blastoise, Shell Smash, terrifying. Lantern, just your kind of paralyzed setter, Volt Switcher, Water Absorb Pokemon if needed, but Water did not come this time on Black Captain's team, but we'll get there. And Arcanine coming in too.
Yep. Pretty solid lineup looking.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of physical attackers on here.
Yeah. Actually, yes, I think they're all physical attackers unless you count.
Maybe not Blastoise.
Maybe not Blastoise. Blastoise, I think, is kind of a mixed attacker, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's special attack and attacker about the same.
Yeah. It's not super weighted one way or the other.
Yeah. Black Captain, of course, though, bringing his Melmetal, his Tornadus, bringing Sand with Tyranitar, also bringing Torkoal, which usually runs Drought, but we'll get there, and Stoutland, which could easily run Sandvale, but we'll get to that too, and Cofagrigus, who we saw last week have some fun with that block set against IDM.
Yeah.
That was fun.
The block set could have been even better with a couple of different moves, but we'll see what it does this week.
Absolutely. And with that, let's get this match going here. Roar starting off Lantern to most likely Scout, which isn't a bad thing. Stoutland intimidating right away. Stomping Tantrum, which is a good move, but Paralyze comes in and
Paralysis is always annoying to deal with, and Stoutland gets paralyzed on the first turn.
Yes, it does.
Unfortunate.
The other unfortunate thing is that Stoutland's not Sandvale, even though Tyranitar's here, which is really interesting.
Yeah. It is interesting that Sandvale isn't on this, but sometimes doesn't need to run it.
Yeah, sometimes doesn't need to run it. Intimidate's really nice, which was not a bad bring, considering Kartana's here, Golurk's here, Blastoise is here, and Arcanine as well. So, getting that Intimidate off really helps. Melmetal coming in, getting hit by Rocky Helmet here.
Yeah, this hurts.
Intimidate. Very rough.
That took about 5/16 of his health.
Yeah.
And Burn Up we see here, changing Arcanine's type, so it's not going to be weak to rock anymore.
Yep, it is completely typeless. Burn Up is a 120 base power move or something like that, but once it's used, you are no longer a type. So you no longer get stabbed. However, nothing can hit you super effectively, like Tyranitar just got hit with close combat. Not the best decision, I think, staying in Tyranitar on this. Probably switching to Stoutland would have been better to get that Intimidate off and do some knock down that attack a little bit.
Yeah. Cofagrigus here tries to go for knockoff, and unfortunately, it won't get through the substitute in one hit.
Yeah, it will not.
And when knockoff hits a substitute, it's not going to knock off the item, so Celebi's able to keep its leftovers. So Black Captain has to switch into Tornadus because Cofagrigus is toxic and it's not really going to do anything to Celebi.
Yeah.
And we see here Torkoal does not have Drought.
No, which is really unusual because that Flamethrower would be doing a bit more damage. I mean, of course, Aurora just keeps substituting to stall it out to let Toxic come in and just deal some damage, because at this point, I feel like nothing can really switch in on Celebi except maybe Melmetal, but Melmetal's fairly hurt at this point. It's also running Life Orb, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually, with the slow, bulky types, you want to run some kind of recovery item.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it does pack a punch with Life Orb.
Yeah.
As long as it survives.
Black Captain getting off some rocks just before the end right there. Another Burn Up, becoming typeless once more. Burn Up an Iron Defense, but at this point, with the amount of health left, it's a little too late, I think.
So if you're typeless,
I'm guessing Arcanine can probably get like burned while it's type plus.
Yeah.
And then you can switch out and switch back in, and it's still going to be burned as a fire type.
Yeah. Cofagrigus is kind of a stall that might not have been a bad bring because from what we can see with this particular team, Aurora doesn't have a lot of clerics going on at all with this matchup other than Celebi, which I don't think it's running anything like that. Yeah, it's not.
No.
It's just set
But
up.
unfortunately, Black Captain doesn't have any clerics either.
Nope. And no way to deal with this.
His team kind of suffered a lot for it this game with Toxic and Paralysis.
Yeah.
I think Burn as well.
You know,
we saw all three of the statuses.
Yeah, we saw all three of the statuses. A lot of these Pokemon got statused. Stoutland getting paralyzed. We had Tornadus poison, Torkoal poison. Cofagrigus was also toxic. Tyranitar was burned or toxic?
It was burned.
Okay.
Arcanine Will-O-Wisped it.
Oh, that's right, and then close combated it. Yeah. Blastoise, of course, Shell Smash at this point just does a lot of work for Aurora. But a good match by both. I think it was interesting for Black Captain to not run Weather because it's something where, like, with Rain, Barraskewda can hit quite a few things. Liquidation Rain does some good work, and then also it gets Drill Run, which is great for Steel Pokemon.
Yeah. Having that speed to at least move before Kartana is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Barraskewda would be good against the team that Aurora brought.
Yeah, and even then, like, Liquidation against Kartana, sure, it's resistant to it, but, like, Kartana cannot take a hit. Barraskewda's 136 base attack is just going to kill that thing, or 123 or something like that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Barraskewda gets a fighting type move.
It does. Close combat, actually. Close combat would actually be pretty good against it.
Yep.
Yeah, and Rain, too, would have kept Arcanine from doing a lot of damage. Sure, it gets typeless later, but it'll just be that much more effective against fighting stuff, dealing with it. Problem is, I don't think Black Captain has a lot of clerics on his team, with Deontay, I think, being the only Heal Bell and Executor being the only Wish Pokemon he has.
Yeah, more than me, but I do have Tapu Fini to kind of keep my team somewhat healthy.
Yeah, Misty Terrain is pretty nice for that.
Yeah, but not having a Heal Bell, Aurora definitely took advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely did.
The status hurt.
Let's go ahead and go on to the next match. 1 second. I gotta mute myself here. Go ahead and introduce the teams for us real quick and talk about them. I'll be right back.
Sure. Let me find the team names real quick. So this match we have GTP, host of the Schaumburg Salamences, going up against Flair, coach of the Maryland Minetrics.
You got it.
So this game, we see GTP with his classic triple steal. Corviknight's been kind of a menace in terms of making games last a long time.
Yeah.
This season.
This match, the Remedy match, we'll get there. We're actually going to be playing this match at a faster speed, by the way, because it goes on for a bit. We'll see that in a second, though.
Yeah, and we see Slowbro here, another bulky, stall-ish Pokemon that can run Regenerator and just live being a defensive pivot for a while. Yeah, Flygon I don't really know what Flygon does, really. I know
Flygon
it can
gets
run
U-turn. It's got some decent dragon and ground moves, but, like, I think it also gets Flamethrower too, which could put in okay work. I think it gets Thunderbolt, but, like, I don't know what Flygon really hits on Claire's team at this point, though. Sort of thing.
Yeah, Sigilyph.
Yeah, I guess Sigilyph.
Maybe. And I guess if Flygon's running a special set, it can hit Rhyperior pretty hard.
That's true. I think it does get. I think it's like all the kind of usual like 90.
It gets Earth Power.
Standard. Yeah, Earth Power.
For
actually,
sure.
yeah.
Now, Manectric, pretty good speedy electric type. Although it has to watch out for a couple of players' ground type Pokemon, Sandaconda and Rhyperior. And we've got Paparaja, who's pretty bulky spectrally, but can't take a physical hit. So gonna have to watch out for Rhyperior and Sandaconda again. Yeah, these ground types definitely hurt this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because, Woody running the 3 steel Pokemon and Manectric. Yeah, ground is just kind of sweeping through this, as well as rocks. And the only thing that really stands up pretty decently is Slowbro. But of course, Porygon getting a multitude of moves can probably hit it if it really tries hard enough. Sigilyph we saw, I believe, last time as well, running the Psycho Switch or whatever it is.
Yep. Psycho Shift?
Yeah, Psycho Shift, thank you. Which, of course, you burn yourself, you can switch that onto someone else, and it does some pretty decent work because Sigilyph doesn't rely on attack in the first place, just its special attack. Rhyperior being a heavy attacker and kind of does some good work against the team. Pheromosa, it's terrifying. I'm not going to talk about it because we already know what it does. And DD, Psychic Charge prevents any sort of priority moves, like Lucario gets Vacuum Wave, I think Sucker Punch too. I don't remember.
It gets Bullet Punch at least.
It does get Bullet Punch.
Actually, I don't know if it does get Bullet Punch. But yeah, it prevents priority moves, which is good. And it can also run Trick Room if you really want to go that route.
Yeah.
And DD's just a pretty good utility Pokemon in general.
Mm-hmm. And that's about it. We'll just get started and see how this match goes. It goes for a while.
It goes.
Flygon comes out, great triple axle starting off, killing off Flygon immediately. Seeing Pheromosa, Flygon shouldn't stay in on it. You switch to Slowbro at that point.
Yeah.
Earthquake killing
Should
this.
have.
And
And now we see Corviknight coming in.
Mm-hmm. By turn 3, Woody had lost 2 Pokemon already, and we'll be here for a while. We get screens, of course, from Better Skarmory, also known as Corviknight. We have the Psycho Shift running again with Sigilyph, and we'll be here a while. The only attacking move Woody has is Iron Head. And
that's not going to do much when it's burned.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Corviknight can't be poisoned, and it gets access to Roost. And under screens, it's not going to take much damage. So, player really doesn't have any way to kill it. Besides, as we'll see in the end of the game, Rhyperior. But Iron Head is a problem.
Yeah. Thunderbolt comes in, it does nothing to Skarmory. Skarmory? Corviknight. I see Skarmory and I will do
Better Skarmory.
Better Skarmory. Yeah, Corviknight can take hits all day. It is a bulky, it's a very good Pokemon. With the Minnesota Magikarps having drafted it last season. And again, it just takes hits all day, especially with screens, but its move pool is a little lackluster. I'm trying to think of what would have been a better move to bring on this thing.
Well, I don't normally see a screen set.
Yeah.
Screen's Roost kind of limits it. Usually, Better Skarmory tries to boost up and sweep that way.
Yeah. Power Trip might have been okay, but again, being burned from the beginning makes a huge difference. Manectric coming in, if Woody timed that right, probably could have Volt Absorbed against this thing, but Sandaconda comes in, of course, it's immune to that. Don't know what other moves this thing is running besides Toxic.
Manectric?
Yeah.
I think it's running Flamethrower.
Is it? Oh, that makes sense.
So we'll see GTP starts to predict the Sandaconda switches later.
Yeah. Getting those coils up, and again, just nothing can be done at this point. Sure, you can roost and everything, but Ironhead.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that was a crit.
And here we see Porygon tracing pressure.
Yeah.
Which is quite useful
Yep.
to stall out a Pokemon.
We're doing a good job there, by the way, predicting that toxic. Flamethrower coming out, doing some good damage. Flamethrower is actually pretty decent against what Claire's brought. Hydro Pump coming out, doing some decent little damage to Porygon. Does Woody have anything that gets knockoff?
I believe Corviknight gets knockoff.
Oh.
Possibly Lucario.
Okay.
Although, I'm not sure about that one. Actually, I'm not sure about either of those. But yeah, knockoff would be good for Porygon to get rid of its Eviolite.
Yeah, you just do some more damage against it at this point, and then also
Hydro Pump
knockoff
does
against this.
surprisingly a lot.
Yeah. Knockoff hurts. Call mine.
Oh, you know what?
Hmm.
Each time GTP's raising his special attack, the special defense raises that Claire's doing really don't do anything. Because we've seen that Slowbro has Oblivious because Porygon traced it. So a Hydro Pump from this probably. Huh. Wait. I feel like that should have done more.
Hydro Pump did up to like here. Well, yeah. I mean, this is fairly bulky as a Pokemon, isn't it?
But I thought GTP used Hydro Pump earlier.
He did.
And it did about the same amount.
We'll see it go again here. I'm very certain Hydro Pump does hit again. It does crit though, I think, on this one coming up.
Yeah, it does crit.
Yeah. Another move that wasn't Psychic would have gone a little further, I think, by the way. So
yeah, maybe like an Ice Beam.
Even then, like, he also gets Thunderbolt.
Oh.
So, because I think don't run Hydro Pump, run Scald.
Oh, wait a minute. Oblivious doesn't do it. I thought it did.
What does Oblivious do?
It prevents infatuation. You can't attract it. Or captivate it.
What's that move?
And apparently you also can't taunt it. And you can't intimidate it.
Okay.
It's got a lot of weird effects. But I don't know if I would run that over Regenerator.
Yeah.
It could work against, like, for an anti-taunt Pokemon.
Oh, for sure. That's interesting.
At this point, GTP is just asking for the game to be over.
Yep. Just because we're at turn 70, we're still going. Corviknight's the last Pokemon. We are burned, cannot hit. We have screens, and Corviknight cannot hit anything. You know what? Does this get close combat or some sort of fighting move?
Corviknight?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, a fighting move would have actually been fairly okay against what's here. Just something that's not Ironhead.
Dual Wing Beat.
Yep. Or Rest.
Have no attacking moves.
No. Replace Roost with Rest.
Oh.
Because your burn would have been gone. And nothing nothing could have hurt you.
And it makes it better for stall.
Yeah.
They're not using as many moves.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of stall, Claire here just switching Pokemon constantly, trying to get Woody to run out of moves. Woody asking to be Thunderbolted. There it is, and that does like no damage because screens. And then this thing comes out. Yeah, and we'll be here for a little bit. We're almost at the end though. We're almost at.
Yeah, we're almost there.
I think it's turn 92. Yeah. So
Here we
it
go.
comes out. Swords dances. And then rock polishes. And then swords dances. Magic room heading off, by the way. And rock wrecker.
Rock wrecker.
What set off magic room?
I think it was just always there.
Was it?
It was just being covered up by Psychic Surge.
Yeah. Okay, so Indeedee used Magic Room.
Yeah.
Held items lose their effects. I don't know. I have no idea what held item this thing had.
It had heavy duty boots.
Ah! Well, alright then.
Because I saw it switch in once and it didn't take stealth rock damage.
Ah! Well, that explains it. Well,
Which is
that...
an interesting item for
Yeah.
Carbonite.
Definitely an interesting item for sure. And that does it for that match. We actually have just one more match left for the last match of the week, which is, of course, Spood of the Southtown Sand Slashers versus IDM4 of the Russell's Espions. Thank you. It's a match.
This is a doozy.
Yeah, it's a doozy. Cody rocking an interesting set. One of the things you'll probably notice right away looking at this matchup is Gudra sits on all of this team.
Yep. Doesn't really have a safe switch in for Gudra.
Not at all. Even
because Gudra can run fire and dragon
and ice,
which hits most of this team.
Yep. It gets ice beam. It gets flamethrower. It gets hydro pump or surf. Actually, it does get surf.
Yeah.
It just gets some really good moves overall. Actually, surf would have been better on Sloper, by the way, in that past match we were talking about. Instead of Scald, just for more damage and more accuracy than Hydro Pump. Yeah. Jolteon Turtonator. Sorry, not Tyranitar. Interesting set. We'll get to that when we show it in there. Scizor coming in actually does some pretty decent work if Cody can get off the right stuff. We'll get there. Grassy terrain coming. We do see Bulu and we see Shift Tree, probably for Mudsdale to deal with earthquakes and things like that. Landers coming in. Rock and I imagine just earthquake and a few things and probably rocks or something like that to deal with IDM switching around. Because, yeah, IDM, I just got a few Pokemon to deal with rocks actually. Because Klefki gets Defog, which is unfortunate because Defog also gets rid of terrain.
Yep. Alakazam usually runs a Magic Guard, so doesn't have to worry about rocks. Buzzwole, a bug fighting type, so it's a neutral to rocks, and also kind of scary for Spood's team.
Scizor can't deal with it that well, and then Bug, of course, just stomps on Shift Tree, and Bulu gets hit pretty hard by it as well.
Yeah.
It also gets close combat. It would just kill Jolteon. Jolteon's not bulky enough to deal with a Buzzwole.
Yeah, pretty much just has to watch out for Turtonator.
Yep. Potentially Scizor if it has the right move on it, but I don't think it'll do too much. And then Landorus, of course, gets flying moves. Actually, no. Landorus only gets fly. I don't think it gets like Air Slash or anything, does it?
Lando T doesn't. Yeah. Lando T only gets fly. No dual wing beat for Lando.
Yeah. But this is Landorus Incarnate.
Yeah, I don't know how different the move pool is.
How different is the move pool for Lando Calrissian? Let's see. Landorus, this one. Running Sand Force, of course, but no sand on Cody's team. Gets Defog, which is always nice. Outrage, Fly.
They get Sword Stance?
It does not get swords. Oh, it does get
Oh
swords.
yeah, it
yes.
does. It might be the same moves, to be honest.
It might be. It does not get dual wing beat or anything. Like, the only flying move it gets is literally fly, and that is it, which is kind of a shame for such a good Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think with that, just like starting off, I think IDM just has a better matchup at this point with what he's brought compared to what Cody's brought. Mostly with Goodra.
Yeah, Goodra is going to be pretty important here.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this started. Starting off Scizor. Starting off Goodra. Flamethrowing and...
Food was prepared for it.
yeah, nice
Had a
berry.
berry for it.
Knocks off there. And then doesn't switch out.
Unfortunately, he had no real good switch-ins.
Yeah.
Because Turtonator could definitely take a Flamethrower, but it couldn't take a Draco Meteor.
Yep.
Which was a possibility that IDM would predict.
Yep, and then of course Flamethrower coming in again. Ice Beam is also on Goodra too at this point. I'm a little surprised at the switch out. I think Goodra could take a hit from this thing and just Ice Beam it and survive. But the calming keys are here to calm mind.
Yeah, this is not a
And there it is, Flash Cannon.
this is not a utility Klefki. This is a sweep and kill you Klefki.
Yeah, which is really
Which is not
interesting.
something you see often.
Especially from IDM. And at turn 9, Cody has already lost 3 Pokemon. Alright, so there's the Shell Smash, right? Eject Pack. Switches into Jolteon. Jolteon was supposed to copycat the
Shell Smash.
The Shell Smash, but instead copycats Calm Mind, which isn't the end of the world. That does a lot of damage to it.
Yeah, it's because Klefki still is running Prankster.
Yep.
Which means Calm Mind is always going to go first.
Yeah.
Which means Jolteon does not get to...
Shell Smash.
It has to copycat the Calm Mind.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. And I don't think Cody calced for a attack-heavy Klefki, because Klefki, I'm pretty certain, just wiped out 5 of these Pokemon by itself.
This is what I...
4.
This is the Pokemon that I picture IDM when I think of IDM. This
Yeah.
Klefki. He always has some kind of tricks with it.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's the
Definitely
Pokemon to
his
watch
staple.
out for. Like, on IDM's team, honestly, like, sure, Goodra's terrifying and scary, but, with enough head smashing into a wall, you'll kill a Goodra. Klefki, you don't know what IDM's going to do with this little thing, because, like, Prankster's fantastic. Getting up Toxic, Spikes, Thunder Wave, Defogging, had some really good moves for anything along those lines. And again, a couple Calm Minds, it's sweeping.
Yeah. Steel and Fairy hit most Pokemon pretty hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, Scizor would have been an issue, but Scizor got KO'd round 2, so...
Yeah. Potentially
Didn't have to worry about that.
switch something in, but again, nothing really hit Klefki's except for like Turtonator with Flamethrower, but that's about it, really. Maybe a ground move from Lando, but they just couldn't keep up with it, because once Scizor and Lando were gone, Goodra left to let Klefki's come in and do the rest, because I
don't think any of the other Pokemon came in.
Yeah, because actually IDM's doing something weird and nicknaming for once, and literally only used 2 Pokemon to 6-0 Cody's team. But, good...
Sometimes when you go for the cheese,
Yeah.
you get cheesed.
Yeah, because usually IDM goes for the cheese, and IDM actually just swept with Klefki. But... that about wraps it for the matches, and then we of course head on over to take a look at the armor division and these whatchamacallums. Stats, records, thank you, Scooch. I couldn't have done it without you there.
You're welcome.
Of course,
We've got 2 clear people going for that first place spot.
yes,
right now.
and I believe at this point guaranteed for playoffs. Like, even if IDM I think gets 6-0 on the next few matches, which I don't think is possible, IDM's guaranteed playoffs.
Yep.
With that
And
4-0,
I would say Aurora is also going to playoffs.
Yeah, with both of them being 4-0, IDM at plus 18 and Aurora at plus 14, it makes sense at this point. Rounding out third place.
Spoon's in good standings right now, but just doesn't have. He pretty much just doesn't have to. Has to not lose every game.
Yeah.
From now on.
His differential isn't the greatest because literally the stark contrast. So we have plus 18, plus 14, plus 0. Cody is 14 points underneath second place, sitting in third place. The only reason he's in third place too is at 3-1 at the moment. Claire, of course, right behind though in fourth place with 2-2 at a plus 5. So as soon as Claire gets a victory, she'll surpass Cody if Cody loses the next match. But because of Cody's record.
What are Cody's last games? I know one of them is going to be Aurora, which is going to be tough.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough match. If Cody can upset Aurora, that'd be fantastic. Cody's next match is actually Aurora.
Yep.
And then Aurora versus IDM is week 6, by the way. That'll be super exciting.
Probably will determine who wins this division.
Yeah, absolutely will. Cody versus Woody is week 6, and Cody versus Lovin is the very final match of the week. Of week 7. So we'll have to see.
I'd say Cody's projected to go 5-2.
Yeah,
Probably
I think
lose
Cody's most like I'd say 80+% likely to go to playoffs. I don't see any reason Cody wouldn't, unless, again, we talked about Claire in fourth place can easily surpass Cody to third, being at 2-2. Claire gets the next victory here. She could probably do pretty well. But we do have Dom, our newcomer, sitting at 1-3 at -3, which really, looking at it, if Dom plays well, he could still make it to that fourth place spot. If Claire loses this next match, whoever Claire's fighting, I have no idea who it is. Black Captain.
Black Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
Yeah. It's definitely something that is doable, but again, Dom does have to fight IDM next, then has to fight Black Captain, and then also Aurora. He has a few really big matches left.
It's pretty tough, to be honest.
So it's a matter of how these next few games go for Claire and for Cody, if Dom wants to make it. There's a chance. I don't think it's a strong chance. However, if he somehow beats IDM, I think that would actually really help his chances in getting to playoffs.
Oh, definitely.
Lovin's sitting right underneath and probably in the same boat as Dom, honestly. Like, Lovin's doing just fine with the 1-3 at -4, just underneath Dom's scene. And I think that potential's still there. Again, under the same situations. Lovin probably has a few easier matches left in this season, I think. With his next match being Woody. After that being Claire, which is going to be another really big match, actually, that would determine some stuff. And, of course, Cody being the last match. So it's a matter of how Lovin does as well. Woody at this point being 1-3 at -15. The differential alone at the -15, I don't think will guarantee him a spot in playoffs unless Woody goes through and 6-0s the last of his opponents.
Yeah. It's possible.
Anything's possible. And Black Captain sitting at the type of differential with Woody, actually, sitting in 8th down here with 0-4. And at this point, with that differential, I do not think that Black Captain can make it to playoffs this season. But there's always technically a chance. A 3-4 is not unheard of if Black Captain wins these last 3 matches here. But that differential is going to be the biggest key factor. So if Black Captain does want to make it and wants that chance to make playoffs, I believe
he'll have to win big.
He has to win big on each of the matches to get that going. So at this point, I think it's still fairly, a potential for 5th and 6th to make it to that 4th place spot, depending how 3rd and 4th do with the last few matches here in the season.
Yep. I'd say so too.
Yeah. But what a week of matches. What a fun time. I'm excited to see where our newcomer goes with these upcoming matches, and just excited to see what happens to that third and fourth spot with Cody and Claire. Just kind of duking it out at this point for who gets the third or fourth spot, and seeing who across the pond, so to speak, they're going to have to fight in the Crown Division.
I'm looking forward to seeing some more Leafeon gameplay.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget to check out the Crown Division in their Week 4 analysis for some of the matches that Scoots and I had to deal with this week. It'll be
including each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Well, we hope you enjoyed all. Take care. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks for staying. And again, go check out the Crown Division. It'll be a fantastic, fun time. We will be here next week for Week 5 to see where this goes. Because at Week 5, I think we will have a definitive answer of who's going to playoffs and who likely isn't. There's still probably a chance that some people will have an opportunity, but genuinely, depending if Aurora and IDM just get this final win then Week 5, they're going, I think.
Yep.
And with that, thank you so much for joining me again, Scoots. It was wonderful having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.